Let's talk health and wellness. So a lot of our products, as you probably know by now, are not good for you. I even heard that tampons can actually make you bleed more. They're putting some kind of a chemical in your tampons. Because at the end of the day, they need you, as the more that you use the products, the more money they make, right? And you can look into that with all of them. You know, when something needs a patent, to go to the public and somebody benefits from that patent, that's where I lose trust. So when things become, you know, like Bill Gates said that vaccines are the best ROI. And I mean, it's true. I mean, good for you, Bill. You know, billionaires became basically trillionaires during the pandemic while, you know, Nana and Pop down the road had to close their bakery. So good job. They want consumers. And so over the years, I've kind of went down this health journey in terms of what I use. And so I'm going to share that with you if you care. I mean, if not, just scroll along. So my big awakening was actually through the book by Kevin Trudeau, not Justin Trudeau. Let's be very clear there. It was called Natural Cures, What They Don't Want You to Know. And I believe it was released in around like 2003 maybe. But it basically, it followed a lot in suit with Chinese medicine and natural healing kind of stuff. And as a journalist over the years, a news reporter, I did notice that anything to do with curing the big C word naturally, can't report on that. And those people, a lot of them went mysteriously missing when they found ways to treat that. So I also was diagnosed with ADHD in high school and put on some kind of form of Ritalin. And I remember the kids, like my friends in high school, would be like, Lisa, can you just take your medication like during the school week so that you're still fun on the weekends? Because while my grades all improved and I was like a walking zombie and I had mental clarity, I was boring. I wasn't myself anymore. And it really took out my personality. So I continued taking medication though because I thought that I had to conform with the world and be normal. And the medications actually made me suicidal, and they made me tick. They made me not be able to sleep. They put me into dark, deep depressions. I have been clean from all pharmaceuticals for probably 20 years. I did take some allergy medicines over the years, and I think that was a direct result of my childhood. And also I had ear infections all the time. So anyways, since I went off of them, my mental clarity, everything has increased. And recently I started fasting more and not drinking alcohol, not being careful about my water source and being careful what I put on my skin. That's something I've always done. So my routine kind of thing right now is I don't buy any of those creams and tinctures and all those things. I've got one thing that I put on my face, and it's from Woolsey's, and it's called 100% Natural Formula Anti-Aging Ultimate Skin Oil. I got it online, and it's got vitamin E, jojoba oil, almond oil, macadamia oil, lavender oil, pomegranate seed oil, and frankincense oil. And it's 100% eco-friendly. And I mix that with castor oil, and I put that on my face. Another great product to have in your house is this Indian healing clay. That's great for all kinds of things like bug bites. My daughter actually had a huge boil under her arm. Weird, because every time we've been around people that have recently got I don't know if you've had this, but I've had things like boils basically showing up on my body and my children's bodies. I put a little bit of this on this, left it overnight. The next morning it was gone. After I squeezed it though, and then I put this stuff on. Another thing that's really important is that you get a good deodorant. Always read the labels on any of your products and make sure it says that they're paraben free, because parabens are cancer causing agents. And just try to have the mentality that if you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin or, you know, like in your hair. So that's a great way to look at things. It actually helps minimize the stuff that you have in your house too. Your skin is your biggest organ. So whatever you put on there, it absorbs into your skin. And that's why babies under 6 months old aren't recommended to use certain sunscreens, because it can literally go into their organs. So if you do need to use sunscreen, I've never used it. I also never wear sunglasses because I think that blocks you too. If you do need to use sunscreen, I know a lot of people with maybe red hair or very sensitive skin. I don't know the science behind that. I just know that I haven't used sunscreen for my kids or myself. And people will be like, well, my mom did that too, but blah, blah, blah. But there's so many factors. It could be, well, what lotions are you guys using? Like, what else are you putting on your skin? There's so many factors to skin cancer. All this stuff us women are putting on our faces. Not good. So if you have to do a sunscreen, do a mineral one. This one has 100% zinc oxide. And then toothpaste. Don't listen to doctors or dentists about fluoride, and because it's just, fluoride is actually making your teeth yellow, and it's causing a lot of problems up here too. Okay, so I just found this one. I don't know how good it is. Maybe you guys can tell me, but it's Dr. Bronner's, this one here. And I just liked what they were saying on the toothpaste. Like, all this writing is, let me see what it says. We see our companies as an engine to create positive change in the world, funding and fighting for the causes we believe in. You know, I know that companies need to make their money, so I'm not dogging all companies. I do realize that there's production costs and all things like that. I'm more talking about like the bigger players in this game, who don't care about your health, and they are sitting in a corner just waiting for you to get sick. And that's kind of my concern, is what we consume, put on our bodies. So when you're in the grocery store too, you know, we're in an ingredients household, so people come over here, they're like, there's no food! My mom all the time. It was just hilarious because my mom was an ingredients person too when we were little. And she, like, we'd have hockey billets stay with us, and their family would send care packages of like chocolate and stuff, and my sister would eat, and I would eat all of it because we were like, you know, and so there's that kind of like, you got to find a happy medium there, because you don't want the kids to be, you know, wanting to sneak stuff. But when you really know what are in those snacks that we're feeding our children, it's really not good. And it's interesting, people will be like, you're an unfit mom for not my children. But then I see them like at Halloween and stuff, like giving their kids so much crap and the snacks and all the like sugar the kids are consuming. And it's just, and the red dyes, all the dyes that cause like ADHD kind of symptoms. So if I do give my kids candy and whatnot, I notice a immediate change in their behavior. They become unreasonable and actually kind of scary. It's the same kind of thing. Like, I haven't really given my kids a lot of screen time with iPads and stuff, but on our RV trip, I gave it to them because we were dealing with some stuff. And when I try to take those away from them, they turn into monsters. So it's like, again, finding the happy medium so that, you know, they're not going to their friend's house to use the stuff that you're not letting them use. But I do think sugar technology things are really bad for kids' development and their health. I have a good example actually on that, because my first two kids didn't get any iPads, nothing. And my third kid, his second word was Blippi. Okay, full disclosure, Blippi's if you don't know who Blippi is, you're probably not a parent, but he's a grown-up who does all these adventures for kids. It's a YouTube channel. That kid cannot be bored. He cannot be bored. He needs constant stimulation, and I can see it. I have an experiment in my own home about the dangers of too much overstimulation for the brain. And so I'm trying to wean him off like a crack addict, honestly. because my older two boys, they can play for hours. So my biggest advice for parents is that it might seem easier to just throw an iPad or something in a kid's face, but my advice is let your kids be bored. It sucks when you have to constantly entertain them, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, so I don't know what else. Maybe vitamins I'll talk about quickly. So I take just natural vitamins, things that vitamin D. If you're not getting it in outside, make sure you have high doses of vitamin D. And all your vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin B. I've been taking this ashwagandha, I think that's what it's called, because I get pretty crazy once a month before my period. I feel like a snake molting once a month, so that's really helped balance those hormones. The other thing that I've been doing is my husband and I have been basically carnivore, vegans. We fast most of the day, and then we have one big meal at night. And I do it kind of like a bit of a ketovore kind of thing, where I add keto paleo kind of vor, where I'll add things like some fruit, avocado, things like that. I'd cut out dairy, and the mental clarity from just cutting dairy out was amazing for me. I love dairy. I could bathe in it, but it's just not good for my system. Speaking of systems, I'm 11 minutes now. Another great thing, I might as well go to 20 minutes because this is going to be 2 videos now. This is going to sound gross, but enemas. So you can do organic coffee enemas, or for me with my candida overgrowth, apple cider vinegar enemas. You can look into that. I'm not a doctor, but just do your own research on that. But I'll tell you, it was instantly helped me. And in lots of other cultures, they actually do these cleanses and parasite cleanses as well, like monthly. So I don't recommend doing enemas more than once a month, if that. But the parasite cleanses too. You got to think that we're doing this with our animals and everything, but I think it's those parasites and what's in our bowels that's keeping us sick. So yeah, I'm not going to go 20 minutes. I was just kidding. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that, as for things like Botox, I'm going to talk about that really quickly. As you can tell, I don't have Botox, but I had it once and I loved it. Okay, and here's why I loved it. Because when I was judging things, I'm trying not to be judgmental, but someone would say something crazy, and this is what they would be met with. So when mostly my in-laws, okay, a whole other story. But when they'd say something or do something crazy, I could just be like, yeah, that's totally normal. Yeah, okay. Before it would be like, so I did love it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not against anyone that does things like Botox or little things here and there to make yourself feel good. Just don't make it an idol. Don't make yourself an idol. And these filters on here might seem fun and playful, and you get to see how beautiful you can look. But I can tell you firsthand, well, secondhand actually, the damage body dysmorphia can do to a person, and how serious it is. And you got to remember that if you're participating in these things that are keeping us women needing to feel like we're perfect, you're hurting our children. You're hurting our future. You're hurting my daughter, because you can never live up to those standards. And I know so many little girls are on their mom's phone with them, scrolling things and seeing all these perfectly beautiful women. And I want to show my kids every kind of human being. I want to see the real you. I want to show my daughter the real you, because I believe every one of you was made perfectly in God's image, and He did not make any mistakes. And so lots of people can look perfect on the outside, but they're rotten in here. And vice versa. People can look not so attractive on the outside but have the most beautiful hearts. So we have to stop focusing on physical appearance. And yeah, I know that's easy for me to say, because, my skin is pretty good. I attribute that to not ever using products. Since I was in high school, I never used any things on my face. I just used water. But I just really want you to all think about the choices that we make every day. Is it helping or hindering the environment? Is it helping or hindering our children? Is it helping or hindering ourselves? You know, like alcohol. I'm a mother of 4. I could easily numb my feelings with a glass of wine at night or whatever. But how do I feel the next day? Am I able to be there for my kids? For me right now, no. And I feel like God's really shown me to be sober-minded, especially in these times, because we need to stay alert and we need to stay on top of things. Water sources, again, I want to quickly talk about that because that's really important. Don't drink tap water. Find a source. There's Kangen water. There's the Big Berkey I have. There's all kinds of filtration systems that I would recommend. And if you can stop supporting anything Nestle, that would be great. The boycotting of some of these big companies is the only way we're going to take them down. And yeah, that's my 2 cents in 16 minutes. Have a good day.